Hi there guys, Sam here, welcome back to another video, and on this occasion this is on sort of like the latest news that we know on the Mk8 Golf R and why it kind of confuses me a little bit. So yeah, I'll get straight into the video really. So yes, welcome back to another video on a gorgeous Saturday morning here in the UK, and you can see to the right of me some sort of latest testing at the Nürburgring for the Mk8 Golf R. Yeah, and it's all exciting, it's all progressing quite nicely, and yeah, I kind of wanted to do a little video on kind of the latest update on it. And yeah, to be honest, I'll get straight into it. So the first thing I kind of really want to say about this car is that a lot of like magazines and, you know, in the automotive press sort of industry are basically saying that the car is still going to be sort of like around 329 brake horsepower or 320 brake horsepower. And it is kind of confusing me a little bit because, as I've mentioned before in previous videos, and I've done a video on like the Audi S3, it is likely to be an identical product to that. They're part of the same VW VAG group, VW and Audi. So because they're based on the same car, they're not really going to be different in terms of power and actually drivetrain and how everything works inside. The only difference is the badge and the interior. Now, despite this still going on, I'm still going to stand by what I think about this car, and this is why I hope you lot stay tuned to the channel, because you know I'm doing lots of updates to the Mk8 Golf R. You know, got a Mk7 Golf R myself. Check out previous content as well that I've got on this channel, and also enjoy hearing bits from you. A lot of you guys message me around this sort of latest news as well, so yeah, I really appreciate that from my subscribers as well. And from my side, I think VW got quite a tricky kind of situation on their hands, because it was kind of difficult for them to bring out the Golf R in the first place, because they had this Golf GTI which did so much, and you know, so iconic, and almost the main sort of purposeful hot hatchback coming out in the 70s, and they wanted to kind of introduce something else which was a little bit of a step up, you know, sort of no sort of limits, if that makes sense. Now, the current Golf GTI, the Mk8 GTI, which, you know, is going to be quite a cool car, hasn't changed its power on what basically was the performance pack version of the Mk7. So it's 245 brake horsepower, and that's 100% confirmed, as is the Audi S3's output of 306 brake horsepower. Now, I still think this car's going to be 306 because it's got to find its gap in between all the other ranges. You know, if there's going to be a Club Sport or a TCR and all this kind of stuff for the GTI, which there probably will be, it's got to kind of sit somewhere, yeah, not too far ahead, but then not too slow, basically, is what I'm saying. Now, there might well be a Golf R sort of plus performance model which will have a little bit more power, but for this one, 306 is what I'm sort of betting on, and I'm sort of, yeah, disagreeing with what the automotive press is basically saying, from what I know, and just, yeah, my gut feeling as well on it. So we'll have to see what it actually does when VW initially release it. I know there was some sort of leaked footage about 4 months ago which basically said the Mk8 Golf R's power output, and it was sort of 320 brake horsepower plus. So you just don't know. It could go either way. I'm certainly more on the inclined to say it's, you know, my head says it's going to be the same power as it was before, same as the Audi S3. But yeah, my heart, and as a driving enthusiast, yeah, of course, love more power. An extra 30 brake horsepower, why not? And that would be really cool. Now, on sort of like the looks of the car and how it's sort of changing in production, there has been sort of more testing going around the Nürburgring, along with the Arteon R and the Tiguan R, yeah, going around the Nürburgring. Now, I'm not as interested in the SUVs, if I'm honest with you. And yeah, are you really going to take your Arteon R around the track? I'm not so sure. But yeah, that does look like a very good looking car, and obviously it can do everything, etc. For sure. Now, the cool thing is that the images that I've kind of seen from this video, which was done a few days ago, the actual images and looks of the car hasn't changed at all from when I kind of released my video back in July. So check the link out up there. That is basically a production ready Mk8 Golf R, if you want to know what that looks like. And yeah, they had a blue one and a white one going around the track. You don't really get much sort of feeling sound. It looks very stable and composed. Guess what? 4-wheel drive, Haldex system. That's kind of what you are going to expect, and that's what you're going to get in the car. Noise-wise, it's quieter than a Mk7 Golf R. Just, you know, there's just so many regulations now. You don't expect any noise to come out of the car. But on the whole, we're nearly there, and we're going to find out some more news soon. I'll play the clip as well, just so you can kind of see it going around as I'm talking. And yeah, maybe I'll kind of talk about it as well. This is actually from a different YouTube channel. Obviously, I don't live at the Nürburgring. And you can see it going around the track. Yeah, it looks great. I like the colour. I'm a big fan of blue. It probably is my favourite colour. Although mine is in grey, it's a little bit more subtle. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting car. You know, it's got such a good following, as I know quite a lot on my channel. It's got an awful lot going for it. Interesting still to know about the price, about the debate, and this is why I keep talking about power as well, because that's going to affect the price. If it's the same power output as the Audi S3, it's going to be hopefully a few £1,000s cheaper here in the UK and probably worldwide, where they sell both variants. You've got the Arteon R going around there as well, so I'll avoid that a little bit. Yeah, and you can see the white one going around track as well. Obviously professionally driven, trying to get the most out of the car. And I'm sure it is going to be faster. I think the technology has just come on leaps and bounds. There's no way this car, if I stop it here, is going to be any slower than the Mark 7, regardless of power output change. It's the same with the Mark 8 GTI. They're going to be faster cars. Hopefully they're going to be better cars. There's been lots of talk about the Mark 8 interiors and the quality of the car not necessarily being up to standards. I do kind of agree with that a little bit. I've had I had my car service, which you lot followed quite well, and I had some issues and stuff like that with VW at their main dealer. But I had the chance to kind of wander around and check out some Golf 8s, some Mark 8 Golfs, just some standard ones. And it was not really blowing me away. Certainly not as much as when I first saw the Mark 7, which just seemed like a game changer to me. And maybe just time changes, and I'm very settled with the Mark 7, and it does kind of everything for me in the real world. If I was stepping into the game completely fresh and you wanted to try something new, I think the Mark 8 is going to be where it's at. You know, it's got a long lifespan. Yeah, and it's going to be cool. It looks quite good in white, and with black wheels actually just shown there as well. Exciting times nonetheless, but I'm still a little bit confused why, you know, the sort of information we're kind of getting is a little bit conflicted, basically. You know, I've been following this with you guys and kind of keeping you up to date on it, particularly right up until when it's released and so forth. Why that isn't being mentioned about the power they're just sort of throwing out there at that. We're just going to have to wait and see. I'm really intrigued to see what they do, because from a marketing point of view from VW, they've got to get it right. They've got to get that balance right, because it's all about power. No one really cares about like the weight of a car. 99.9% of people don't. People who want to track their car, who are maybe real enthusiasts, do. Maybe less so on the daily side of a car and more of just a fun car. So the Golf R is going to weigh a little bit more, but can they sneak a bit more power out of it to make it cooler? I just don't think so. But, you know, it certainly doesn't look slow going around track. The one thing I will say, it looks very composed. It's a composed car. And, yeah, I think it's going to be ready soon for production and soon to be released. And hopefully, well, giving us a release date as well. And as soon as I hear that information, maybe VW do some sort of trailer. I think it is that big car, really, for them. Certainly going through into the future. It's sort of taken over the Golf GTI in terms of where VW's strategy is going. Like I've mentioned all the R models. You've seen the Arteon R there, Tiguan R, T-Roc R, Touareg R. They've got them all coming out. And the Golf R was kind of almost started it all, really, with the R badge. So I think they're really going to keep pushing forward with that, getting that out there, making it a bit more iconic almost than the GTI, where the GTI has all the history. But ultimately, if you know, comparing the two, the GTI makes a lot of its sales because of its badge name. You know, a lot of people who can afford that type of car are of a certain age, which remember when the Golf came out and all this kind of stuff, or were in that sort of era. So they know they can get sales from that without upping the power. And now the R is sort of like almost for the new generation almost. And yeah, we're just going to have to see what they come up with in terms of power and where they go through further. But yeah, both cool, you know, both great, exciting cars to see. I'm still sort of 50-50 on the looks. You're going to have to see one in person. You know, I'm not massively To be honest with you, a base Mark 7 Golf I wasn't massively keen on. Same with a base Golf 8 Mark 8. So yeah, we'll just have to see it in person and go from there, and you'll see the latest here first. But yes, thanks so much for watching. Let me know in the comments what you think. If you're a little bit confused about where the power output's kind of going, you know, take my opinion for it, but we'll have to see until we finally get confirmed the power output. And I think that's the most important thing. That's the highlight headline figure, and it always will be in sort of like the car industry until we sort of move over really to the electric revolution, which, yeah, considering we're nearly in September 2020 now, a couple of days away, yeah, it's coming soon. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. I'll drop a link in the description to this video as well, just so you can check it out. But yeah, have a fantastic rest of your day. Please subscribe and like this video for plenty more content to come on the Mark 8 Golf R, along as with content of my Mark 7 Golf R, and yeah, plenty more sort of VW related content, fast forward content, Porsche content from, yeah, from the automotive world and car news around that. But yes, thanks so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll see you again next time. Cheers, guys.